The whispers began on the third hole, and by the back nine, the entire golf world was in utter chaos, struggling to comprehend what they were witnessing. Charlie Woods, the kid raised in the spotlight before he could even tie his own shoes, had just done something nobody saw coming. Not the commentators, not the analysts, not even his own team as the round unfolded. Those whispers grew into gasps, then into sheer disbelief. This wasn't just surprising golf, it was a total redefinition of everything we thought we knew about Charlie Woods as a player. Was it a meltdown, a breakthrough, a rebellion against everything he'd been taught? The truth was far more complex and far more fascinating than any simple explanation. Let's be clear. This isn't a story about a kid playing poorly or playing well. It's about a 16-year-old making choices that had golf legends texting each other in real time, trying to process what they were seeing. It's about decisions that defied every conventional approach to tournament play, and a performance that will be debated, analyzed, and dissected for months. What Charlie did on that course has huge implications for the trajectory of his career. The tournament began as expected. Charlie Woods arrived composed, ran through his usual practice routine, and looked ready for another solid showing. Expectations were reasonable, a top 10 finish, maybe a top 5 if things went smoothly. Nobody predicted fireworks, but everyone anticipated competent, steady golf from the kid trained by one of the greatest players the game has ever seen, a style defined by consistency, patience, and smart course management. Then the first round began, and immediately, something felt different. Charlie's pre-shot routine, normally methodical and precise, seemed quicker, almost rushed. His club choices raised eyebrows among the sharp-eyed observers. On the second hole, a straightforward par 4 where conventional wisdom dictates a safe layup and a steady putt, Charlie pulled out his driver and went for a line most professionals would call unnecessarily daring. It was aggressive, shockingly so for an opening round. The commentators chuckled nervously. Bold choice for a young player, one said. Maybe feeling pressure to make a statement early, suggested another. But Charlie wasn't done. Hole after hole, he made decisions that defied everything anyone knew about percentage golf, playing the odds, or the conservative strategies that usually win tournaments. This wasn't just aggressive golf. This was something else entirely, and no one could quite put their finger on what they were. Watching. Then came the back nine, the point where unusual turned into utterly shocking. There was no correction, no retreat to conventional play. If anything, Charlie doubled down on the aggression. On the 13th hole, he faced a 220-yard approach over water to a tucked pin. The safe play was obvious. Lay up, take your par, and move. Every caddy in America would have handed their player a wedge and said, play smart. But Charlie asked for his 3-wood. His caddy hesitated, started to speak, then simply handed him the club. What happened next left jaws dropping across every clubhouse and sports bar broadcasting the tournament. Charlie took his stance with absolute commitment, pure conviction in every fiber of his being, and swung. The ball soared on a trajectory that seemed impossible, fighting wind, physics, and common sense. For a moment, disaster seemed inevitable. The ball drifted toward the water, and you could almost hear the collective intake of breath from everyone watching. Then, miraculously, it caught an updraft, rode it perfectly, and landed on the green, rolling to within 15 feet of the cup. The gallery erupted, but the golf purists, they were conflicted. Incredible shot, yes, but was it smart, sustainable? Could this kind of play win tournaments? Or was it just a highlight reel hiding a ticking time bomb of eventual disaster? Perhaps the most shocking part of all was Charlie himself. Calm, composed, utterly unshaken. No visible stress, no second guessing, no concern about what anyone thought. He moved from shot to shot with purpose, making aggressive choices guided by some internal compass only he could see. It was as if he had decided to play an entirely different game than everyone else on the course, by rules that existed only in his own mind. Then came the 15th hole, a moment already spanning thousands of hot takes across golf social media. A drivable par 4, but danger lurked everywhere. Bunkers left, water right. A green notoriously difficult to hold, even with a short iron. The conventional wisdom, drilled into every golfer by every instructor in the world, would have been simple. Hit ... The whispers started early, but by the back nine, the golf world was in chaos. A 16-year-old Charlie Woods, raised in the spotlight before he could tie his shoes, defied every expectation. Hole after hole, he made bold, aggressive choices that contradicted conventional wisdom, pulling drivers where irons were safe, attacking pins that most pros would avoid, and executing shots that seemed impossible yet kept landing perfectly. Social media erupted, divided between AW at his fearlessness and criticism of recklessness, while analysts compared him to young legends and cautionary tales alike. Through it all, Charlie remained calm, guided by an internal compass, seemingly playing a game all his own. By the round's end, it wasn't just his score that mattered, it was the statement he made, that he would play golf his way, independent of legacy, expectations, or fear, stepping out of his father's shadow and into the spotlight as his own player, leaving the world stunned and debating what this